Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 246. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another dynamic show in store for you. Today's show topic is thriving versus surviving. 10 things you must have to build a thriving business. Thriving versus surviving. 10 things you must have to build a thriving business. Now, before we get to today's episode, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family, and please stay tuned until the end of today's episode where I'm going to give you all of my social media handles, and please connect with me via social media. Also, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. So if you're looking to build a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, please go to anewblackwallstreet.com. It's $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Pick yourself up a copy. Also, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, I've created a compatible online course titled Educated E-Commerce. So you can go to educatedecommerce.com and enroll in the course. And it takes you by hand from point A to point Z, everything you need to know to build a successful, sustainable e-commerce business. Now, for all you Black product producers, I've created a platform titled BeSmartByBlack.com. BeSmartByBlack.com, where you can upload your products and connect with Black consumers worldwide. It's free to upload your products, so please go to BeSmartByBlack.com, upload your products, and connect to Black consumers worldwide so we can circulate these dollars in the Black community. Now, for all you freelancers, I've created a compatible platform titled HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE, BlackFreelancers.com. So anybody who is a freelancer, anything that you can find on Fiverr or Freelancer.com, it could be coding, it could be web design, it could be voiceovers, whatever it is. Go to HireBlackFreelancers.com, upload your information, and once again, connect with Black businesses and consumers worldwide so we can circulate the dollar in the Black community. Now, I'm also going to be at an event April 3rd, Wednesday. Now, it's at a college, so the general public can't come, but I'll be at Wingate University April 3rd. That's in Wingate, North Carolina, next to Charlotte, not too far from Charlotte. And I'll be there at 5:30. And I'm going to be doing a book talk and discussion about A New Black Wall Street, how to leverage technology to build and sustain Black-owned businesses. So if you're in that area and you go to Wingate University, make sure you can come on out 5:30 Wednesday, Wingate University, A New Black Wall Street. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. All right, guys, today's show topic, thriving versus surviving. 10 things you must have to build a thriving business. Thriving versus surviving, 10 things you must have to build a thriving business. And must have number one is a viable business idea. Number one is a viable business idea. Does it make sense? Do people want it? Does it solve a problem? Many times as entrepreneurs, we think people want exactly what we want, and we go out and try to start a business when really nobody actually wants whatever product and or service that business provides. It may be something that we like. For example, I had a buddy who's real big into home automation. You know, turning your lights on with a button, that's all fine and dandy. But the litmus test is, are people going to go in their pockets to pay for that service. And so I always talk about testing, guys. And I'm going to give you a real life example that I did years ago when I had a magazine called The Self-Employment Guide. Now, this was a print magazine. This was years ago, but this is how I went and tested the viability of this product. So the first thing I did was I ran an ad for advertising sales reps on commission only. So I wanted to see, number one, if I could find employees to sell advertising, because I couldn't do it all by myself. So I did that. And while I was interviewing via the phone, I actually had a mock magazine made up of the Self-Employment Guide where I had content in there, editorial, and I had advertisers in there. And a couple of the advertisers were franchise opportunities and business opportunity advertisers. Now, mind you, they didn't pay for this. This is a mock magazine. I needed something where I could go out to the advertisers and try to sell them. Okay. So what happens is I had this 24-page mock magazine and I contacted all types of prospective advertisers. And in 3 weeks, I actually sold 12 ads. Now, those 12 ads were enough to pay for the cost of printing the magazine and then some. I had profit left over. After I had that proof of concept, I started hiring sales reps. And so I hired 4 sales reps to go out and start selling on that initial edition. And that was how I was able to test to see if I had a viable business idea without spending a lot of money. Because once again, guys, we always think that just because we think this is a great idea, everybody else will. But you won't know that until you test. So once again, thriving versus surviving, 10 things you must have to build a thriving business. And that's number 1, a viable business idea. Number 2 is a game plan or blueprint. A game plan or blueprint. Now, I know a lot of people do business plans. You don't need a 200-page business plan. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right. I remember the first business plan I wrote for my condom company. My partner and I look at it. I even have a copy of it now. This is 20 some odd years ago. And I look at it and I'm realizing how ignorant I was with my assumptions in my business plan. So business plans are a roadmap or a blueprint. They will change based on what's happening, with that business. So you don't have to get crazy and do a super complicated business plan. Your business plan could be 10 pages, 20 pages or whatever. It's going to be flexible, so don't go crazy. But you do need a game plan or a blueprint. That's number 2. All right. The third thing that you must have is capital to start your business. I'm going to repeat that. Capital to start your business. Determine the capital that you're going to need to start your business. Determine the capital you're going to need to start your business. Now, whatever you come up with, you probably want to double it, because until you get into business, there are going to be all types of ancillary costs that you probably didn't figure on in terms of the actual cost to get your business started. And that's one of the biggest mistakes we make. We underestimate the cost to start a business. So do the best you can with your costs. So number 3, capital to start your business. And you don't need to have super crazy money to start a business, depending upon what type of business it is. But whatever it is, make sure you have adequate capital. Okay. Number 4, the tools to conduct business. And I'm telling you, I don't know how many times I've seen entrepreneurs try to start a business and they don't even have the tools to actually conduct business. So I'm talking to a young lady about 3 weeks ago. She reaches out to me and she's talking about the business that she started, and she doesn't have a website. I'm like, all right, well, you need a website. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, but you need some type of web presence if somebody wants to check and see, about your product or your service. So you need the tools to conduct business, and that could be either location, it could be software, it could be hardware, it could actually be the product. Some people, and I've done it before, started business without having the product because I was testing it. So you can do that, but when you're ready to jump, you need to make sure that you have the tools to conduct business. And I've told this story before, but there are many new listeners. So when I had my alarm business, I was working in corporate and preparing to go out on my own with my ADT dealership. And so what I had to do is I had to procure a location. I needed computers. I needed desks. I needed equipment. And I needed the whole thing. So every paycheck I got, I used to write down everything that I needed. And systematically, every time I got paid, I would go and buy whatever I needed for the actual opening of my ADT dealership. So I bought, desks with the first paycheck. Second paycheck, I know I bought some computers, some chairs, all of the stuff I needed. Okay. And so when it was time for me to open, I had that office already laid out day one. When I walked in that office day one, I was ready to go. So you need to have the tools to conduct business. So I didn't wait and quit my job and say, oh man, now I got to get all of this stuff. I did it systematically. And one of my buddies was like, damn man, how'd you pay for all of that stuff? And I said, I've been putting all the stuff together for about 6 months. So I said, what you didn't see is I had all the desks and computers in my basement. So every paycheck I'm buying something else. And I went and finally finished that list. And now all I had to do was get a U-Haul. And I had a couple buddies and we moved all of that stuff, put it all together in my new office. And 2 days after I got that, because that was on a Friday, and that Monday, I opened up for business and I started interviewing people to be sales reps and all the other positions. So you must have the tools to conduct business. So if you're a carpenter and the only tool that you have is a hammer, you're not going to be too good as a carpenter. You need to make sure you have every tool you need to do business, at least on the basic level. Okay. Okay. Must have number 5. And guys, this is real important. Must have number 5, a customer or prospect database. A customer or prospect database. And I don't know how much I need to impress upon you guys to do this, but you need to build that prospect or customer database before you launch. Before you launch, not after you launch, because you want to build it before so you can launch to a warm market. Whatever your product or service is, you want to be able to launch to a warm market. So build your customer or prospect database in advance. You need to do this. Guys, this is probably the biggest reason why businesses fail, because they're launching to a cold market. What this will actually also do is tell you if you have a viable market. Okay, because if nobody actually goes for your lead magnet, that means you might have some issues. So let me give you a real life example. I'm actually going to give you 2. I literally was talking to one of my best friends earlier this morning, who is a phenomenal cook. Now, he has a regular full-time job, but he loves to cook. And so he cooks meals that rival high-end restaurants. That's how good he is. And he's always taking pictures of it and he's talking about it all the time. So what I told him was, I'm like, dude, you need to monetize this. I said, one thing I always tell people, I said, do something that you love, do something that you're good at, and do something people will pay you for. If you can do that, it's all gravy after that. So I said, you're already doing the cooking. You're already taking the photos of your food. I said, all you need to do right now, I said, is to have either your wife or your kids take videos of you, just short videos of you prepping the food, putting the food in the oven, pulling the food out, and tasting the food. It could be a 5-minute video. I said, if you did one of those videos a week for a year, put it on social media and start building up your following. I said, after that, if you come out with a line of spices or seasonings or whatever it is to monetize it, a cookbook, I said, you already have the warm market to make the monetization simple. The problem is, guys, most times we start the business and then we try to start building the customer or prospect database, and you're doing it backwards. And that's a very big reason why businesses fail, because once you do it opposite, you get the business going and then you try to build a database, you're spinning your wheels because you don't have anybody to market to. You want a warm market to market to. It just makes common sense. Now, here's a real life example for me. I'm a big grilling guy. I love to grill steaks, ribs, chicken, whatever, fish. And so I'm in the process of creating some products for the grilling space. So I put a lead magnet out there. It's a resource guide. And so I'm building my database, the best grills, the best utensils, the best barbecue sauce or whatever. So it's a resource guide for people that love to grill. So now when my first product hits, I'm going to have a database where I can reach out to them. Oh yeah, remember that resource guide you got? Well, here's actually one of the sauces that I was talking about in the resource guide. Why don't you give it a try? It's marketing to a warm database. And today's show topic, guys, we're talking about thriving versus surviving. 10 things you must have to build a thriving business. Number 1 was a viable business idea. Number 2 was a game plan or blueprint. Number 3, capital to start your business. Number 4, the tools to conduct your business. Number 5, a customer or prospect database. All right. Number 6, an easily identifiable and reachable target market. An easily identifiable and reachable target market. Who are your customers and where will you find them? The easier it is to target and identify your customer, the easier it's going to be for you. So if you have some type of obscure niche where it's hard to find, those type of people, it's going to be hard to market to them. So if all you sell is 2 pairs of left socks, it's going to be hard to find that market, all right? So you need to have an easily identifiable and reachable target market. You need to be able to identify them and you need to reach them. So for example, with my grilling stuff, my grilling equipment and all of that stuff. So I can identify that market. There's tons of Facebook pages that people love to grill, that about grilling. Okay. So I can identify it and I can reach them through social media, through Facebook pages and through other advertising. So those are an easily identifiable and reachable market. Okay. And if you can't identify and reach that market, you're probably in the wrong business. Okay. So this is something that you definitely must have. Okay. That was number 6. Number 7, a viable product and or service. A viable product and or service. And I know this sounds simple, but you want to have a good product. You don't want to sell garbage. So you want to have a viable product and your service. And does your product or service do what it says it's supposed to do? Because you have to set the expectation level correctly. So if you set the expectation super high and your product or service comes in under that, you're going to have disgruntled customers, which means you're probably going to get bad reviews for your business, which means you're going to be struggling in your business. So you need to have a viable product and or service. Whatever you're selling needs to be quality. And you need to make sure your expectations, your product or service meets those expectations that you give out in your marketing or whatever. So expectations will make or break any relationship. So if your customer is expecting a high level cognac and once they get your product and it tastes like garbage, guess what? They're not going to use that product again because they weren't expecting that. They were expecting a high-end product. Okay? So that's number 7, a viable product and or service. Number 8, a successful and consistent marketing mechanism or marketing machine. A successful and consistent marketing mechanism or marketing machine. Remember, guys, you think you're in another business, but the real business you're in is the marketing business. Everybody has a competitor. So people are doing the exact same thing that you're doing. The difference is who's the best marketer. So you're in the marketing business and you need to have a machine, a mechanism that continues to market for you so you can continue to procure new clients, new customers. So we talked about sales funnels before. You have lead magnets, just like my resource guide for my grilling products. So those things are out there and they're consistently getting in new people to raise their hand. Yeah, I need to get that resource guide. So now once they get that resource guide, they go into one of my sales funnels and they'll continue to get additional information, quality information. So you have to have a successful and consistent marketing mechanism. You can't advertise for 1 week and then stop for a month and then go back and advertise another week. You have to have consistency. That's how you build assets. And that's how you make money. Okay. That's number 8. Number 9, customer service, support, and feedback. You're going to must have customer service, support, and feedback. A lot of times we get bad reviews or people don't like our products, not necessarily because of the product, but it may be because of the service. Okay? So you need customer service, support, and feedback. And you really want to get feedback on your products or services so you know what you need to improve on. Once again, as business owners, we may think it's one thing, but people may come back and tell you, you know what? No, it's not that, it's this. So you need to make sure that you get feedback via surveys, even on the phone. If somebody calls you up or you have contact with your customers, ask for feedback. What are some of the things you like about the product or service? What are some of the things you don't like? What would you recommend? What, do you want in the future? So you need to have a point of contact with your customers, and it could be via email. It doesn't necessarily have to be phone, but you want to have customer service, support, and feedback. Okay? And must have number 10, a growth plan for expansion or scaling of your business. A growth plan for expansion or scaling of your business. If you're not growing, you're going backwards. Okay? And so it could be new products or services. What's your next step? Whatever. You need to start thinking about scaling and growing your business. Now, I always use the analogy of playing pool. And so I know some people say checkers to chess and all that stuff, but I like to use the analogy of playing pool. So when you play pool, you're not just thinking about the shot that you're taking right now. You're thinking about positioning that ball, for the next shot and the shot after that. And so that's what happens in terms of your business. You need a growth plan or an expansion plan to scale your business. So you could come out with one product or service, but you need to know, okay, if this is successful, now I'm coming out with another product or service. Something that's coming behind it. Same customer base, but what you're doing, you're growing your business, you're scaling it up by offering additional products or services to that same marketplace and that same database that you've already built up. All right, so it's just like you see some of these big product brands like McCormick. They have spices, they got barbecue sauce, they got all kinds of different things that they've built a customer base that are happy with their products. And now they're offering more products to that happy customer base, which in turn grows their business and scales their business. So those are 10 things or 10 must-haves to build a thriving business. And I'm going to go over and rehash real quick, guys. Number 1, a viable business idea. Once again, does your business idea make sense? Just because you like it doesn't mean everybody else will like it. Okay. Are you solving a problem? If you really want to be in business, if you can solve a problem that makes sense and is affordable, you're going to be in business. Okay. Number 2, a game plan or blueprint. You can't go in there, like my old coach used to say, running around like a fart in a windstorm. All right. You have to have a plan. Now, that plan doesn't have to be, written, in stone, because in business, things change. So you need to be flexible, but you still have to have some type of plan. Okay. And once again, don't go crazy on a 300-page business plan, because most times all you're doing is guessing. All right. But have a framework of what you want to do and how you're going to get there. All right. Number 3, and we're talking about thriving versus surviving. 10 things you must have to build a thriving business. Number 3, capital to start your business. What is it going to cost for you to start your business? Okay. Are you going to bootstrap it? Are you going to get investors? Are you going to use your own money, your family, friends, or whatever? But you need to have a number, a realistic number to start your business. Okay. Number 4 must have. You must have the tools to conduct business. I can't stand it when I talk to some of my coaching students and you don't even have the tools to go into business. Oh, I don't have my website yet. You need that. You need that. Well, I'm waiting. Nah, man, get the tools so you can conduct business. You gotta have the tools. Okay. That's number 4. Number 5, a customer or prospect database. And I'm not going to hit y'all in the head much more about this, but you got to build that before you launch. As soon as you decide, I'm going into this business, you need to think of a lead magnet Get it out there to that audience that you need to connect with and start building that database. So when you're ready to launch, you got a warm market. Once again, my buddy who loves to cook and who's a great cook, he could do that by doing quick 5-minute videos, building up that database. And then whatever product or service he launches, he's launching to a warm market. All right. Must have number 6, an easily identifiable and reachable target market. If you can't identify your prospects and you can't reach them, you have no business. Who are your customers and where will you find them? So if you can't answer that easily, it's probably the wrong business to go into. All right. Must have number 7, a viable product and or services. Does your product or service do what it says it's supposed to do? Does it meet or exceed expectations that your customers have? So if you're selling a high-end product and when your customer gets the product, it looks cheap, then you're going to have problems. All right. Because that didn't meet their expectations. Make sure you have a viable product or service that meets whatever expectations you put out there. Does your product or service do what it's supposed to do? Must have number 8, a successful and consistent marketing mechanism or marketing machine. You guys are in the marketing business. I don't care what business you are. You think you are. You're in the marketing business. Somebody else does the exact same thing that you do. Okay? The only difference is who's the better marketer. So a successful and consistent marketing mechanism or machine. You can have sales funnels with lead magnets, follow-up emails, however you want to do it, but you need to have consistent marketing, okay? Not once a week, once a month, consistency. Must have number 10, customer service support and feedback. Customer service support and feedback. You're going to need that. All 3, especially the feedback, because that's going to tell you what you need to improve on or what you're doing well. And last but not least, number 10, a growth plan for expansion or scaling your business. Are you going to add new products or services? What are your next steps? And once again, I use the analogy of playing pool, not looking at just this shot, but looking at the shot behind that and the shot behind that. And that's how you're going to grow and scale your business. So before we close out, guys, I just want to say each and every week, guys, we get more and more downloads, and that's attributed all to the BEB family. Guys, I can't tell you enough, but you guys actually make this so fun for me. The interaction and the dialogue that I have, being able to go out and meet the BEB family in person. So, once again, I want to thank you guys, for lifting me up. I appreciate you. I love you guys. And so each and every week we get more and more downloads. And I just ask that if you guys can continue to spread the word, be it word of mouth, social media, whatever, about Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast or the blog, I would greatly appreciate it. We got a couple of new things coming out, and which the BEB family can participate in, and I think it's going to be real exciting. I'm working on some stuff in the lab right now that should be dropping within the next month and a half, or I'm looking for May 1st, hopefully. Also, my audio book is coming out. I'm actually revising the online course, and I'm actually going to be revising A New Black Wall Street, the book, because I'm going to be adding additional chapters or bonus chapters for things that are actually working right now. So that'll be out within the next couple of weeks also. So any of the new BEB listeners, first-time listeners, or people that have never connected with me on social media, please, if you have anything long you want to connect with, hit me at jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. That's JAYJONES @blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, please go to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Like the page for me. Twitter, jjones001, JAYJONES001. Instagram, jjones4real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got additional content that doesn't come out on the podcast on YouTube, and we got a whole lot of videos in the can that we're working on now. So please go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and hit the subscribe button, and you're going to get additional content. Also, LinkedIn. If you want to connect LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn and just look up J Jones Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and invite me to connect. Most definitely looking forward to that. And if you want to be included in the BEB text line for special notifications and reminders, please text BEB to 555-888. BEB, like Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, to 555-888. Love you guys. I'll see you same time next week. Peace.